Hello everybody, and welcome back to our channel, and welcome back to Cooking with Lynn on a Sunday. So today we're going a bit more, well, it's going to take a bit more time. The prep is all about this meal. Once you've got everything prepped, it's really quick and easy. So I'm doing another one of our favourite meals, and I have skimmed over it before, I think, on a couple of vlogs in the past, and it is my curry, a chicken curry. It's one of Robert's favourites, it's one of Steve's favourites. My daughter cooks it all the time, about at least once a week she cooks it. And what I normally do is cook a good batch. We eat half and I freeze half and bring it away and then heat it up either in the microwave or out on the kadaki in the pan. So what do we need for this meal? Right, okay, so I've got 950 grams of chicken breast. We've got I think this is it's 500 grams. Probably I'll use about 200 grams of that. We've got 500 grams of passata. I need 2 onions, garlic, about probably three bulbs of garlic, about a 2 centimetre square of fresh ginger, salt. We've got 125 ml of vegetable oil. And the spices. Now, I keep all my spices in jars at home and in the static. So what I've done, I've put them in a bag. In here is 1 tablespoon of curry powder, 1 tablespoon of turmeric, 1 teaspoon of cumin, 1 teaspoon of coriander, 1 teaspoon of garam masala, and 1 teaspoon of cayenne pepper. The cayenne pepper is where the heat comes from. So if you don't want it very hot, you can reduce the cayenne pepper, or if you want it even hotter, you can obviously add more. But yeah, it's all the other spices need to be done as I've said, but the cayenne pepper, it's totally up to you of how little or how much you put in on that. So right, first job is to chop the chicken up. So I'll use scissors for this. Now, I'm really particular about which bits of the chicken I use, so I do tend to waste quite a bit, but it's just what I do. So chop all your chicken into bite-sized pieces, as so. So you go through, I will use all of these, chop them all up, ready for your curry. So that is all the chicken that I have chopped and I'm using. That is what I'm throwing away, so I'll leave that there as a bit of a bin. So the next thing you do with this is 2 teaspoons of salt. Now, I haven't got my proper measuring, you know, the little plastic ones that you use, but so you need 2 teaspoons of that. And then just mix it up slightly, get all the chicken coated in the salt. There we go. And then you put that to one side because you're going to need that in a bit. Alright, next I'm going to prep the onions, the garlic and the ginger. Right, so for that we need 2 onions. Now I'm going to cut them up exactly as I have done over the last 2 vlogs. So again, I don't need to show you that, do I? You don't want to see me chopping onions again. So there you go, 2 onions, chopped small, the way I've showed you to do it before. So right now, I'll get onto the garlic. So what I'm going to use is, I might put 4 in actually, 4 bulbs of garlic. So what I'll do with these, as you all know, I'm sure, is peel them, put them through my garlic press and put them on the plate with the onions. Right, so what I'm doing now, I've peeled the garlic, and this is always, don't you waste so much. One of my friends, Luz, has actually got like a little grater that she uses, which is absolutely brilliant, but more messy. So squeeze those and just take the skin out of out of that. Okay, so next is the ginger. So find a good piece. Yeah, that should be enough. Something about that big. So what you've got to do with that, if you've never used ginger before, I'm sure you have, but if you haven't, you just peel it, take just the skin off until my knife isn't the best. I need sharpening, and I've got one of the best sharpeners out. It wasn't an expensive one. Take the end off that. Smell of fresh ginger is absolutely beautiful. So just peel that, and then what you need to do is grate it. Now watch your fingers. Okay, so that's the ginger grated. So you've got all that done. So you've got your chicken prepped, you've got your onions, your garlic and your ginger. Right, so now I'm going to fire the kadak up and we'll start cooking. Right, so 125 ml of oil. Now it looks rather a lot, but I promise you it won't be. It won't be greasy. So we need to let that heat up. And I'll put that in there because it's got raw chicken on. I am keep popping in the van and washing my hands. So I'm going to let that heat up and then I'll add the chicken. Right, so I've heated up 125 ml of vegetable oil and I'm going to put the chicken in. Cook that through. So you want to cook that through until it is cooked. I mean, you can par cook it, but I don't. I always make sure it's cooked through totally. So while that's cooking through, which is going to take quite a bit of time by the look of it on the kadak, I mean, I do, like I say, try and get it cooked through because you can't be too careful with chicken, but you can. Once it's all cooked, you can just simmer it like you would a casserole and it will cook through anyway, but keep giving it a toss every now and again. Make sure it's all cooking through evenly. One thing I always do, so it looks like the chicken is cooked, but what I always do is take a pair of scissors, find a big piece, one of the biggest pieces in here, and then I'll cut it through, and then you can see that is cooked. So the next thing to do is take the chicken out, try and drain off as much as you can, but you will throw it all back in, juices and whatever that's left. So take all the chicken out, put it on a plate. That's why I used a slotted spoon instead of just a normal one. So I'll take all this out, put it to one side, nearly all done. It's not the best smell in the world, is it? Boiled chicken or fried chicken, what would it be? But no, it's not the best. So yeah, there's quite a few juices on there. So then you add your onions, garlic and ginger to the oil and the chicken juices. And let those fry until the onions have softened and gone translucent. So right, while those are cooking, and they're not too far off actually, spend a bit of time, and this is another job that takes ages, but I'm going to chop up coriander because I'm actually going to put fresh coriander in it as well as to garnish it, because we absolutely love coriander. Again, scissors, you can't beat scissors for all of this. Those are cooking down nicely. So chop whatever the amount you want. Just get him all as I'm doing. That looks a bit brown. Coriander is something else again that doesn't last very long. I did try and grow it. We had actually pots of this growing at home, and then I ended up with a kitchen full of like fruit flies. So because like I said, it is our absolutely favourite herb in the world. I think Robert would eat it with everything he could if possible. That's a bit naff. Right, those have been cooking. The onions, the garlic and the ginger's been cooking for about 5-7 minutes. They've softened, they've gone translucent. So now what I'm going to do is add my spices, which, as I said earlier, I put into a bag before we came away. And it's all got trapped in the bag. There we go. So stir those in to the onions. Stir it round well. It is a really, really easy dish to do. It's easy and quick to cook once you've done all the prep. And honestly, it's well worth it. Right, so once you've mixed all those spices in, I'm going to add 500 ml of passata. I bought this one. I usually buy, is it Napolina? That's the one, my go-to one. But when I went to the shop, when I went to Tesco's this week to buy it, the Napolina I think was £1.25, and that one, which is Growers Harvest. I mean, at the end of the day, it's tomato, isn't it? So it's not, you can't really go wrong. Stir all that in. Yep, that's bubbling away. Now the only thing is with the kadak, you can't turn it down, can you? Or can you? So I'm going to end up getting covered. What you need to do then is add about 200 grams of natural yogurt and stir that in carefully from a distance. So that's the passata and the natural yogurt added. So now what I'm going to add is the chicken. That's all in. So I'm going to turn this down now and let it simmer for about 15-20 minutes. The lid on, let it simmer for a bit. It's not a bad backdrop, is it? Cooking with the deer around. Absolutely stunning. Right, that's been cooking away. Absolutely gorgeous. So what I'll do now is add a bit of fresh coriander. I will use some more to garnish it at the end. I'll stir that in. And the next thing I'm going to do is do the rice exactly the same way as I did it on the last one. Just heat it up in a saucepan because we are off grid again, otherwise you could put it in the microwave. But yeah. Right, this week I'm using Tilda basmati. Again, just put it in the frame in the saucepan and heat it through. I've just put the curry onto the hob in the motorhome for now because I've got to cook the rice and then do the naan bread. So I just want to make sure everything is piping hot before I serve it to my cameraman. Okay, so there you go. You can hear the rice. It's all dried out and heated up, so that's perfect. So I'm going to set that aside now and show you the way that we do our naan breads. Using bars, garlic and coriander naan bread. So yeah, haven't tried this one before, but it's nice to try something different. So that's the bread. I've lightly put some oil, only a smidgen of oil, into the frying pan. Used to do it with water before, like put this under the tap, but and sprinkle it with water. But now I've found that if you get the oil piping hot, it makes the naan bread amazing. So the oil is now ready. So I'm going to put that in and let it heat through. Whoops. Press it down, and then a couple of minutes either side, and while that's cooking I'm going to start plating up. So that's cooked on one side, flip it over, and it's gone a lovely golden brown, and there's a wasp attacking me again. So I'll carry on cooking that. Done the rice, so now I'll go and get the curry and start plating that up. Okay, so that's the rice plated up. Robert's naan bread, I want to put that on there. Give this a final stir. Smells amazing, tastes amazing. Normally Robert has this at home with rice and chips, but we've been picking on food all day today. We're both not really very hungry. Finish it off with some chopped coriander. And there we go. Homemade Indian curry with rice and naan bread. Happy with that? Now it's time for the taste test.
Right people, how you doing? I'm back.
Yeah. We've come in to eat, so...
Now, again, I've had this before many times.
Many times.
So, yeah. Nice.
Please give this a go. I know there's a lot of prep involved,
but
it's so well worth it.
And like Lynn does, she does a bulk, well, a lot.
A batch, yeah. And then I'm
going to freeze it.
Yeah, what I'm going to do now, because we're travelling back tomorrow, so I'm going to wait for it to cool down. I've got some zip bags. I'm going to put it in the bags, put it in the freezer, and then as soon as we get back, put it in the freezer back at home. Or I don't know where, whatever. Anyway, so
that's the closest thing you'll get to an authentic Indian.
Lots of people have said, Lynn, can you do a curry? So I've done one. This is the one we have. I know lots of you have probably got different takes on curries, but give this one a go and let me know what you think.
Yeah. So I want to get started now, people, so I'm off. So thanks for watching.
Yeah, thank you, and I will see you on my own next Sunday. So yeah, join me.
So now we will say our farewells. So stay safe for the caravanners, motorhomes, tenters, drift subscribers, all new. We still love you.
We do.
Thank you so much for watching. We will see you on the next one.
In a bit.